History whispers tales of love, lust, and loss, but behind the romantic facade, a darker force often lurked. Fast forward to the 21st century, where technology reigns supreme and our desires are just a swipe away. But has anything really changed? Let us journey back to the opulent court of King Henry VIII, a monarch whose reign was as much defined by his 6 wives as it was by his tumultuous relationship with the Catholic Church. But behind the facade of power and grandeur lay a hidden torment, a secret that would plague his reign and leave an indelible mark on English history. Whether or not Henry's infamous leg ulcers were indeed the result of syphilis, the disease's impact on his reign is undeniable. The king's pursuit of a male heir, driven in part by the fear of syphilis-induced infertility, led to the tumultuous upheaval of the English Reformation, forever altering the course of religious and political life in England. Centuries later, the echoes of Henry's reign can be felt in the heart of modern London. But amidst this digital revolution, a familiar threat has re-emerged. Our journey through the annals of history takes us now to the African continent, to the kingdom of Buganda, a powerful empire that once flourished in what is now modern-day Uganda. At the heart of this story stands Kabaka Mwanga II, the last independent ruler of Buganda. Within the opulent walls of the Liberi, the royal palace, fear and suspicion became constant companions. Mwanga's own behavior became erratic, fueled by paranoia and the painful progression of his illness. Fast forward to the 21st century, and we find ourselves in a world seemingly worlds apart from the royal courts of old. Yet, the story of Mwanga and the fall of the Bugandan kingdom holds a chilling relevance in the digital age. Our journey through time now takes us across the Atlantic to the shores of a continent on the cusp of cataclysmic change. It's the 16th century, and the mighty Aztec Empire, with its glittering temples and sophisticated society, stands poised at the precipice of its demise. At the heart of the Aztec Empire, in the grand city of Tenochtitlan, Emperor Moctezuma II watched with growing unease as his people succumbed to this mysterious and debilitating illness. The once mighty Aztec army, renowned for its ferocity and discipline, found its ranks decimated not by Spanish steel, but by the invisible hand of disease. Centuries later, the echoes of this tragic past reverberate through the Americas. The legacy of colonialism, with its brutal exploitation and devastating disease transmission, continues to cast a long shadow over the region. And while the conquistadors are long gone, the threat of STDs, particularly syphilis, remains a pressing concern, a stark reminder of the enduring link between history, health, and human behavior. In Mexico City, the sprawling metropolis built upon the ruins of Tenochtitlan, the past and present collide in a dizzying juxtaposition of ancient and modern. Skyscrapers tower over the remnants of Aztec temples, and the hum of traffic competes with the echoes of history. It is here, in this vibrant and complex city, that the enduring impact of the Conquistador's curse is most keenly felt. Mexico, like many countries around the world, has witnessed a surge in dating app usage in recent years. These platforms, with their promise of connection and intimacy, have become increasingly popular, particularly among young people. But this digital revolution has also brought with it a worrying trend, a rise in sexually transmitted infections, including syphilis. Clinics in Mexico City report a steady stream of patients, many of whom contracted syphilis through encounters facilitated by dating apps. The anonymity of online profiles, coupled with the casual nature of many app-based encounters, has created an environment conducive to the spread of STDs. History, it seems, is repeating itself, albeit in a digital age. Our voyage through the annals of love, lust, and plagues takes us now to the opulent palaces and bustling marketplaces of the Ottoman Empire. It's a realm of dazzling beauty and intricate social structures where power and pleasure often intertwined in dangerous ways. At the heart of this empire lay the Sultan, ruler of a vast domain stretching from the shores of North Africa to the gates of Vienna. But even within the confines of his fortified palaces, a hidden enemy threatened to undermine his authority and unravel the delicate fabric of his court. Sexually transmitted infections. Suleiman the Magnificent, perhaps the most renowned of the Ottoman sultans, presided over a golden age of imperial expansion and cultural flourishing. His reign, spanning the 16th century, saw the Ottoman Empire reach its zenith of power and influence. Yet, even Suleiman, known for his wisdom and military prowess, was not immune to the threat of disease. The very nature of Ottoman courtly life, with its emphasis on sensual pleasure, and the Sultan's vast harem, created an environment ripe for the spread of infection. The Ottoman harem, known as the Seraglio, was a place of both immense privilege and strict control. Hundreds of women, chosen for their beauty and accomplishments, resided within its walls, serving as concubines, companions, and potential mothers to future heirs, maintaining order and, crucially, preventing the spread of disease within this confined and intimate environment became a paramount concern. Suleiman, unlike many rulers before him, recognized the threat posed by STDs. He understood that a single case of syphilis, gonorrhea, or any other contagious disease could rip through the Seraglio like wildfire, jeopardizing not only the health of his concubines, but also the stability of the empire itself. The Ottoman court, for all its grandeur and indulgence, was built upon a precarious foundation of power and lineage. Any threat to the Sultan's virility or the health of his potential heirs had the potential to unleash chaos and instability. To combat the threat of STDs, the Ottoman court developed a complex system of protocols and practices, a blend of pragmatism and superstition. The women of the Seraglio, despite their privileged status, were subject to regular medical examinations overseen by female physicians known as Hakim. These women, skilled in the art of herbal remedies and ancient medical practices, played a crucial role in safeguarding the health of the Sultan's harem. Any woman suspected of carrying an infection was immediately quarantined in separate quarters, isolated from the rest of the harem until deemed no longer contagious. These quarantines, though necessary, were often a source of fear and anxiety for the women. Isolated from their companions and the rhythms of courtly life, they faced an uncertain future, their fate hanging in the balance. The Ottomans, unlike many of their European counterparts, did not shy away from seeking knowledge and treatments for STDs. They understood that these diseases were a matter of public health, not just personal morality. Royal physicians consulted with their counterparts in other lands, exchanging knowledge and remedies in an attempt to combat these invisible enemies. Treatments for STDs in the Ottoman Empire varied widely, ranging from herbal concoctions and mercury rubs to more invasive procedures. While some treatments proved effective, others were painful, ineffective, or even deadly. The quest for a cure for syphilis, in particular, became something of a holy grail for Ottoman physicians, a testament to the disease's devastating impact and the fear it instilled. Centuries later, the echoes of the Ottoman Empire struggle with STDs resonate in a region grappling with the challenges of modernity and tradition. Dubai, a glittering metropolis rising from the desert sands, stands as a testament to human ambition and the allure of boundless possibility. But even amidst the towering skyscrapers and opulent shopping malls, the shadows of the past linger. Dubai, for all its modernity, remains a city deeply rooted in tradition, a place where Islamic values intersect with the temptations of a globalized world. The city's rapid growth, fueled by oil wealth and a relentless pursuit of progress, has attracted millions of expatriates from around the globe, creating a melting pot of cultures and desires. This influx of people and ideas, while contributing to Dubai's dynamism, has also brought with it challenges, particularly in the realm of public health. STDs, once a taboo subject whispered about in hushed tones, have re-emerged as a growing concern, particularly among young people navigating the complexities of love, lust, and relationships in a rapidly changing society. The very same forces that fueled the spread of STDs in the Ottoman Empire, the desire for connection, the allure of secrecy, and the stigma surrounding these diseases, are also at play in modern-day Dubai. The city's vibrant nightlife, coupled with the anonymity afforded by dating apps, and a culture that often discourages open discussions about sex, has created an environment conducive to the silent spread of infection. For centuries, the response to sexually transmitted diseases was rooted more in shame than in science. Societies, grappling with the fear and uncertainty these diseases engendered, often resorted to secrecy, stigma, and blame. The afflicted, branded as morally corrupt or physically tainted, were ostracized, hidden away, or subjected to ineffective and often barbaric treatments. The whispers of their suffering echo through the corridors of history, a testament to the human cost of ignorance and fear. But just as darkness cannot exist without light, so too did the history of STDs witness moments of clarity, compassion, and ultimately scientific advancement. from the ancient Ayurvedic practices of India to the traditional herbal remedies of indigenous cultures around the world, humans have long sought ways to heal, to alleviate suffering, and to restore balance to the body. These early attempts, though often limited by the scientific understanding of the time, laid the groundwork for the development of modern medicine. The discovery of penicillin in the 20th century marked a turning point in the fight against STDs. This revolutionary antibiotic, hailed as a wonder drug, offered a powerful weapon against bacterial infections, including syphilis and gonorrhea. For the first time in human history, these diseases, once feared for their debilitating and often deadly consequences, became treatable, manageable, even curable. The impact on global health was profound, ushering in an era of hope and optimism. Yet, the victory over STDs was not absolute. The emergence of HIV/AIDS in the latter half of the 20th century served as a stark reminder of the ever-evolving nature of infectious diseases and the need for continued vigilance, research, and compassion. The HIV/AIDS pandemic, with its devastating impact on marginalized communities and the stigma and discrimination it fueled, highlighted the interconnectedness of health, social justice, and human rights. Today, we stand at a crossroads in the ongoing saga of love, lust, and plagues. We have at our disposal a wealth of scientific knowledge, a range of effective treatments, and an ever-growing understanding of the complex interplay between human behavior, technology, and the spread of disease. Yet STDs remain a persistent threat, a global health crisis fueled by complacency, inequality, and the enduring power of stigma. The digital age, for all its advancements, has not eradicated the age-old challenges of responsible sexual health. In fact, the anonymity and ease of connection afforded by dating apps, while offering new avenues for love and intimacy, have also created new challenges. The rise in STDs, particularly among young people, underscores the need for comprehensive sex education, open communication about sexual health, and easy access to testing and treatment. The fight against STDs is not just a medical one, it's a social, cultural, and political battle. It requires us to challenge the stigma that prevents open conversations about sexual health, to address the inequalities that limit access to healthcare, and to empower individuals to take control of their own well-being. It demands a shift in perspective, from shame to science, from silence to dialogue. The history of love, lust, and plagues is a long and complex one, a tapestry woven from threads of desire, despair, resilience, and hope. It's a story that reminds us of our shared humanity, our vulnerability to the unseen forces that shape our lives, and our capacity for both great love and great loss. But it's also a story that empowers us to learn from the past, to embrace knowledge as our shield, and to build a future where love, lust, and health can coexist, not as opposing forces, but as integral parts of a fulfilling and empowered life. As we've journeyed through the grand narratives of history, from the lavish courts of kings to the bustling streets of modern megacities, one unsettling truth has emerged. The interplay of love, lust, and plagues is a constant refrain in the human story. Sexually transmitted diseases, far from being a modern affliction, have shaped destinies, toppled empires and left an indelible mark on the very fabric of civilization. The poignant tales of Henry VIII, ravaged by syphilis while desperately seeking an heir, of Kabaka Mwanga II, his reign consumed by the shadow of disease, of Moctezuma II, his empire weakened from within as a new and terrifying plague swept through his people. These stories serve as stark reminders of our shared vulnerability, our interconnectedness across time and geography. We are not so different from our ancestors, driven by the same primal urges, the same yearning for connection, for intimacy, for love. And just as they grappled with the consequences of their desires, so too do we face the enduring challenge of balancing our pursuit of pleasure with the responsibility of protecting ourselves and our partners. The whispers of history echo in the statistics of today, in the rising rates of STDs, in the overcrowded clinics, in the silent suffering of those who bear the burden of stigma and shame. Yet this is not a story of despair, but one of resilience, adaptation, and the enduring power of human ingenuity. From the ancient wisdom of traditional healers to the groundbreaking discoveries of modern medicine, humanity has consistently sought ways to understand, treat, and ultimately overcome the threat of STDs. The discovery of penicillin, a watershed moment in medical history, offered a beacon of hope, transforming once deadly diseases into treatable conditions. But as the emergence of HIV/AIDS so starkly reminded us, the fight against STDs is an ongoing battle, a constant race against evolving pathogens and deeply entrenched social stigmas. We cannot afford to rest on the laurels of past victories. We must remain vigilant, informed, and proactive in our approach to sexual health. The lessons of history, etched in the annals of our collective past, offer a roadmap for navigating the complex terrain of love, lust, and plagues in the 21st century. The responsibility lies with each of us to become guardians of our own health, to rewrite the narrative of STDs not as a tale of fear and shame, but as a story of empowerment, knowledge, and collective action. The digital age, while presenting new challenges, has also equipped us with powerful tools for communication, education, and access to information. We have at our fingertips a wealth of resources, from online platforms providing accurate and up-to-date information about STDs to telehealth services offering discreet testing and treatment options. Let us embrace open and honest conversations about sexual health, dismantling the walls of silence and stigma that have for too long prevented individuals, particularly young people, from seeking the information and care they need. Let us challenge the misconception that STDs are a mark of shame, recognizing instead that they are medical conditions that can affect anyone, regardless of age, background, or relationship status. Let us demand comprehensive sex education that equips young people with the knowledge and skills to make informed decisions about their sexual health, fostering a culture of respect, consent, and responsibility. Let us advocate for policies that prioritize affordable and accessible healthcare for all, recognizing that access to testing, treatment, and prevention services is not a privilege, but a fundamental human right. Your health, your well-being, your future. These are the kingdoms worth fighting for. Embrace knowledge as your armor, compassion as your compass, and the courage to break the silence as your battle cry. Together, we can rewrite the narrative of love, lust, and plagues, creating a future where intimacy and well-being go hand in hand. A world where history's echoes serve not as warnings, but as reminders of our collective strength and our capacity to create a healthier, more empowered future for all.